It can be frustrating to wait for an event, especially when you're the star of the show. Imagine waiting for over an hour, all gloved up and ready to make history, while the entire world tunes into something else. This is exactly what happened to boxing superstar Canelo Alvarez back in 2019, and his reaction to it is both hilarious and surprisingly relatable. On November 2, 2019, the combat sports world was buzzing with two massive events. Over in Las Vegas, Canelo was set to make history. Having already conquered the super welterweight division, he was stepping up to light heavyweight to challenge Sergey Kovalev for a new world title. Meanwhile, in New York, the UFC was holding UFC 244, featuring a highly anticipated showdown between Nate Diaz and George Masvidal. This event was so big, it even had Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson on hand to present the first ever BMF title belt. The UFC event was a huge success, drawing a massive crowd at Madison Square Garden. But because of its popularity, it caused a major headache for Canelo's team. The promoters and broadcasters in Las Vegas decided to delay Canelo's fight so they could show the UFC event. This resulted in a now iconic image of Canelo looking absolutely exhausted, half asleep on a couch, with his gloves already on. It's a picture that perfectly captures the frustration of being a huge star and still having to wait for a competitor's event to finish. This whole situation led many people to believe that Canelo and UFC President Dana White had a huge feud, but according to Canelo, that couldn't be further from the truth. In a recent interview, Canelo was asked if he had forgiven Dana White for the incident. His response was priceless and straight to the point. He simply said, "That platform made me wait." He clarified that his frustration wasn't with Dana, but rather with the whole situation. He continued, "I just never wait for anybody." Dana White himself confirmed that there was never any bad blood between the two. "I don't think we ever had a beef about that," he said. "I've known Canelo for a while. We've never had a problem ever. Super nice guy with good people." It's refreshing to see two of the biggest names in combat sports able to look past a situation that could have easily caused a massive feud. Instead, they're now working together on what is expected to be the biggest fight of the year. Canelo is set to face Terence Crawford on Netflix on September 13, and Dana White is involved in the promotion. This collaboration shows that these two legends have nothing but respect for each other, proving that sometimes, even in the high-stakes world of professional sports, people can be mature and get past a difficult situation. A hilarious twist on a high-stakes story. Canelo Alvarez, one of the most celebrated boxers of our generation, is known for his incredible skill and fierce dedication in the ring. Yet, even a superstar of his caliber isn't immune to the little annoyances of life. His story of waiting over an hour to fight for a world title is a perfect example of a high-stakes situation, meeting a hilariously mundane problem. It's the kind of story that makes him not just a legendary athlete, but also a relatable human being. The year was 2019, and the fight world was buzzing. In Las Vegas, Canelo was set to face Sergey Kovalev, a massive step up to the light heavyweight division. This wasn't just another fight. It was a chance for Canelo to cement his legacy even further by becoming a four-division world champion. But on the same night, across the country in New York, the UFC was holding one of its biggest events of the year, UFC 244. This wasn't just any UFC fight night. This was the highly anticipated clash between Nate Diaz and George Masvidal for the inaugural BMF title. The energy was electric, with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson even making an appearance to present the belt. As you can imagine, the event was a massive hit, drawing in a huge audience and a massive gate. Back in Las Vegas, as Canelo was getting ready to walk to the ring, the promoters and broadcasters had a change of plans. They decided to delay Canelo's fight to show the UFC event. Can you imagine the frustration? You're fully dressed, gloved up, and in the zone, ready to make history, only to be told you have to wait. The delay stretched on for over an hour. It was during this time that a now famous image of Canelo emerged. He was sitting on a couch, looking absolutely exhausted, with his gloves still on. He seemed to be half asleep, a stark contrast to the intense energy one would expect before a championship fight. That single image perfectly captured the surreal and frustrating situation. It was a visual representation of a boxing legend being forced to sit and wait because another major sport was hogging the spotlight. For many fans, this situation sparked speculation of a major feud between Canelo and UFC President Dana White. It seemed like a classic case of combat